welcome to this week's video. Now this week I'm going to be doing a gear review. I've been sent something from the nice people at Xvive, this clever little gadget which I hadn't really seen before they asked me if I was interested in getting one to review, and it's this. It's called the U3D, and basically what it is, it's two transmitter receivers like you would use for your wireless guitar packs, in-ear packs, or even, you know, wireless microphones. And what it is, you've got two sets of these, two transmitters, two receivers, and one of the main uses for this, which is what I'm going to test tonight on my gig, is you plug two of them into your mixing desk to transmit, and you plug the other two into your powered speaker, so you don't need to run cables between your desk and your speakers. Now that sounds very interesting, and as I say, I'm going to try that on my gig tonight. Now the other possible applications for this, you can also plug the transmitter into the back of a standard microphone, which you then plug the other end into your desk, so you've effectively got a radio mic. I need to try all these things, I haven't tried them yet, so let's just have a look in the box. So as I say, there's two of these, the U3D. Oh, that's neat, look at that. So these, I shall have to get these charging because I want to use them tonight. So what else have we got in here? Yes, I can see why we've got that. So we've got these double charging cables, standard USB on one end into those. We'll actually have to get those charged in a minute. Oh, rather nice bag. Oh, two bags, one for each set. That's rather nice, kind of leathery bags. Very nice. Some instructions. I should probably have to read those shortly. And I bet I know what this is. This is like a XLR extender, because, and on a lot of desks, the outputs are very close together, and so you probably wouldn't get two of these next to each other. So I'm guessing, yes, because that's almost exactly the length of that extends that, so you can plug two of them in next to each other. I'm only guessing what that is, but I shall get out my desk in a minute, and I better test these as well. I'm going to charge them up now, and then I'm going to get out my desk and test them before I get to the gig. Because tonight I'm going to use these as the transmitters to the front of house speakers, and then I've got a gig tomorrow which I shall then possibly use these as my maybe use a wireless mic for one. Right, let's get these charged and then we'll set them up with the desk. Okay, now I've got this pair of transmitters and receivers out, so let's flick the power on. Okay, they're both on channel 1. So I'm going to go to my desk and I'm going to put the transmitter in there. It's a pretty solid fit there. And I'm going to go down to speaker and I'm going to put the receiver into there. So these two are on channel 1. Then I'm going to move on to the next ones. Now, I wonder if these are pre-configured to be on a different channel. No, that's on channel 1, so press that button. Oh, channel 2, there we go. That was simpler than I was anticipating. So let's turn the power on this one. Channel 2. So I'm going to put that into there. That's, unfortunately, this one has got a broken clasp because my wife borrowed it and broke it. So I'm hoping that won't vibrate out. Now, will this fit? No, that won't fit in next to it, which I think is why they have provided this. So I put that into there, then I should, look at that, they thought of everything. That then fits into the extender. I'm just going to have to do this two-handed, so bear with me. There we go. All done, so there we have it. I'm going to send some music to the speakers. Okay, I've connected up my via Bluetooth to the desk, so I've got some music playing. So let's have a look. Let's bring up the master. Oh my word, it's working. That's a good song. That sounds like TJ Walker, Halfway to Somewhere. Let's try panning it, make sure both are working. Yes, both working. Right, well there we are. That's the test done, so hopefully this is going to work tonight on my gig. I'm back from my weekend of gigs to report on how it went with these lovely new devices. So gig 1, I decided I was going to use these to connect the desk to the PA speakers. It was a gig, it was a pub gig, and I just used the PA for vocals alone, so it's just 2 tops. I don't have a bass bin or anything, it's just for vocals. So I thought this is a good way to start. If I had everything going through it, I'd be a bit panicky, that just in case something didn't go wrong. It's funny with these things, I know they're going to work, but there's something old-fashioned about me that thinks the cable's going to be better. But have no fear, these work absolutely seamlessly. So here they are, plugged in. I've got them in the desk with the handy expander thing that I pointed out slightly earlier in the video. I plug them all in. Now, the main worry I had with these is, because we're all using in-ear monitors, is that theoretically the speakers could go off and I wouldn't know any better, because we've got a fantastic sound in our ears, but going out through the PA there's nothing happening. But that didn't happen, and I tested them before we started. I plugged one in with a cable and one in with these, and just tested them, A/B'd them, and they sounded exactly the same. There was no latency issues or anything. Sounded absolutely brilliant. And then what really helped was 2 people I know came in, Brett and Andy. Brett's a drummer I played with last weekend, and Andy's a singer who I've done a gig with, their husband and wife, and they came and listened, and they said the sound was fantastic, and they actually pointed out how clear the speakers sounded. And he was a bit surprised that they're Mackie speakers, and they said they've got some, but they only ever use them for monitors because they didn't think they'd be good enough for front of house. But he said they were absolutely crystal clear, which was great. So obviously these were working absolutely brilliantly. Really pleased with them. I'm going to show you a little clip of the gig, just so you can hear what it would have sounded like out the front. This is actually an off the desk recording because I couldn't get the phone out far enough, but here we go, check this out.
I said, fellas, we're gonna take it to the quit. I said, fellas, we're gonna take it to the quit. I said, fellas, we're gonna take it to the quit. I said, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Stay on the scene like a sex machine. The way I like it is the way it is. I am mighty. How about his?
So the next night I took them with me. It was a wedding gig, a different type of gig. I took them with me, and I wasn't certain what I was going to use them for. I had some different ideas about using them for maybe my in-ears, maybe for a microphone. I didn't end up using them for the in-ears, and the reason being the singer turned up with a radio mic, and a radio mic wasn't working properly. So I said, aha, I've got the perfect solution here. Now, I've never had a radio mic before, so this was a really fortunate test. I've never needed one before. This is the first time I ever needed. I mean, she could have used a cable mic, but she's used to using a radio mic, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I just said, let's try one of these. So I've got several SM58. So I just plugged the transmitter. Let's find the right bit here so I can show you. So I just plugged the transmitter into the back of the SM58, as you'll better see in this clip in a minute. Plug this bit into the in on the desk, which I can show you. You can see that I used the extender just to keep out the way of the other cables. And if you check this clip, it just worked absolutely perfectly. Is it working? So as I mentioned earlier about the instructions, I didn't actually have to read them. All I had to do was switch from line to mic on the transmitter unit that was plugged into the microphone. What was also great, one of the guests wanted to get up and sing. She was a cousin of the groom, I think. Which was great to have a radio mic for that, otherwise she'd have been sort of tied to the cable, so she was able to do her thing. And then just to show you, Rebecca the singer, she went out into the crowd later on, which was she wouldn't have been able to do if these hadn't been working for me. So check this out, this has really worked well.
Ready now? Okay, there's going to be some hits from the band midway through this, and then you're going to jump up and you're going to go crazy! You ready? Hit the come down the river.
And then the final use of this, now this was really handy. Through most of the evening I play music off my iPad in our intervals. It's part of what we do to keep the music going when we're not playing. And the last half an hour, 45 minutes was just going to be the music from the iPad, allowing us to pack everything else up. Now what I did, I connected my iPad directly to my JBL column speaker via Bluetooth, meaning that I could pack everything else up. I could pack away my desk, all the cables, all the mics, leaving just the JBL speaker and the other front of house speaker, which was one of the Mackies that you saw in the last video. And what I did to mean I could pack all the cables up, I plugged the transmitter into the back of the JBL mix out, and as you can see here, I plugged the receiver into the other speaker, so I managed to transmit the music to the other speaker and leave the music playing without having to leave any of the cables or the desk up and running. So my conclusion, these are absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to keep these with me all the time now, any gig, because there's so many different uses I could use these for. Sometimes I do struggle with longer cables to reach the speakers, or even for in-ears for people. Sometimes it's really difficult getting the keyboards, getting their signal to the desk if it's too far away across the stage. These are going to solve so many problems. They're really versatile as well. They're really solidly built. I mean, they feel nice and chunky, but they're not too heavy to have on a mic. I don't think that makes it any heavier than a standard radio mic, but they feel like really good, well-made units. There was no detectable latency either, which I've had on other things that I've tried. As you could see as well, and the singer went out into the audience, when I'm plugging between the desk and the speakers, between one speaker and another speaker, I mean, we're not talking huge distances here, but there was no dropout at all. I didn't even think about it until afterwards that, you know, that could have been an issue, but it wasn't an issue at all. And I think these are using wireless. It's 2.4 wireless, so there also wasn't any interference. I guess if there's lots of Wi-Fi in a building or something, there could be issues. But you've got, how many channels have you got to choose from? You've got 6 channels, so I'm sure you could find a channel that you could avoid any interference with, so that was great as well. And if you had a battery-powered speaker, that would be even better. You'd have absolutely no cables to it either. So I think if I ever do get another front of house, I might think about one that I could charge up and use with a battery, because that really would keep the thing completely portable. If you've got an issue with running cables and stuff that stop people tripping over, connecting them up with these, absolutely perfect. So in conclusion, thoroughly recommended. I'm going to keep these in my bag wherever I go from now on. There's so many uses for these, so I'll put the link in the description where you can get them from. So these are the Xvive U3D, pair of wireless transmitters. Go and get yourself some. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave you with one more little clip from the gig that I showed you earlier. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I bring out new videos at 7 PM UK time every Friday, so I hope to see you next time.